Hello everyone. I am streaming obviously. I don't know why I get a little nervous starting these, but I am here. Hello everyone. Um Before we start this stream and before I get into everything about this stream, I would like to talk to you guys for 1 second. And I was reading the Bible today, and I thought we might do something a little bit different at the start of this stream. Before we get started, I just wanted to share something with you guys. And it's in, give me 1 second, I wrote it down here. It is in Colossians, or Colossians, I don't really know how it's pronounced, but it is in Colossians. And if you give me 1 second to flip to it. Right here. I'm a little nervous. It is in Colossians 2, chapter 2, verse 20 through 23. And it reads, "Since you died with Christ to the elemental spiritual forces..." Actually, let me pause the music really quick. Let me pause the music. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Okay. So it says, "Since you died with Christ to the elemental spiritual forces of this world, why, as though you still belong to the world, do you submit to its rules? Do not handle, do not taste, do not touch. These rules, which have to do with things that are all destined to perish with use, are based on merely human commands and teachings. Such regulations indeed have an appearance of wisdom, with their self-imposed worship, their false humility, and their harsh treatment of the body, but they lack any value in restraining sensual indulgence." I read that and I was like, oh, bars, literal bars. But I was also reading another chapter today, and I saw a connection, a parallel between them that I also wanted to touch on. And it is in 1 Timothy chapter 4, verse 1 through verse 10. It says, the Spirit clearly says that in later times some will abandon the faith and follow deceiving spirits and things taught by demons. Such teachings come through hypocritical liars, whose conscience has been seared as with a hot iron. They forbid people to marry and order them to abstain from certain foods which God created to be received with thanksgiving by those who believe and who know the truth. For everything God created is good, and nothing is to be rejected if it is received with thanksgiving, because it is consecrated by the word of God and prayer. And later on in the chapter, it says, "Have nothing to do with godless myths and old wives' tales. Rather, train yourself to be godly, for physical training is of some value, but godliness has value for all things, holding promise for both the present life and the life to come. This is a trustworthy saying that deserves full acceptance. That is why we labor and strive, because we have put our hope in the living God, who is the Savior of all people, and especially of those who believe." So I really thought those two verses, like those couple of verses, were really powerful, because I feel like, especially nowadays, with all these movies coming out and stuff like that, a lot of them have like very earthly messages and themes in them, and they're very about the times and very of this world and very secular. And I just wanted to make a little saying of what I've learned throughout my journey with Jesus Christ, and what I've learned in the Bible, and how so many people put their value in the guidance and wisdom of this world and in secular things and in material things, and that wisdom from this world does not teach people the correct way to really treat themselves and to really know themselves. And the Bible very clearly states very good wisdom that lasts for eternity. So it was just a good reminder of to really make sure that you are being very aware of where you're seeking your wisdom, of where you're seeking your guidance, because you do not want secular guidance to lead you into something that is not good and not for you. Seeking God's guidance with Jesus Christ, through Jesus Christ, is truly eternal, because those passages are thousands of years old, but they still hold so true to these days and these times that it is truly a testament of how his word is eternal. And I just wanted to say that there, because I really love Jesus Christ. I love God so much, and I want to make sure that you guys know that, and to know that you guys are in a safe environment here that is just full of love, Christ love. So yeah, I really like those verses because it tells you, don't study something that is fleeting, but gain wisdom from the eternal Christ. Bars. Am I right? That's literally bars. That's literally bars, and that ate so hard. But without further ado, let's get into the actual stream I want to do today. But before we start, I wanted to let you guys know this little project that I'm doing where it's talking about getting good. And recently I just finished a class. Oh, let me take off my glasses actually so you can see my eyes. Recently I just finished a class with Gabriel Quinn, and I know I said that I was gonna stream it, but I'm not gonna lie, it got a little busy. I got a little hectic, and I just did not have the mental energy to stream, and that is okay, because I'd rather stream when I have the energy and when I'm excited to bring something new to you guys than to not. So anyways, he taught some really awesome things, and he has grown my mindset so much, and I want to dedicate this season of my life, of my art journey, to really getting good and to really understand the tools I have available to me to truly create something that has impact and meaning. So to do that, to have that capability, to have that capacity of knowledge and skill, you have to explore outside of your comfort zone and outside of the box. So that's exactly what I want to do. I want to also really get in tune with my interests and in tune with who I am within my art, so that I can be more present within the actual pieces that I am creating. And I just really want to be really good, but I have to experiment to do that. So I really want to dedicate this season of my art to experimentation and exploration, and that's why I'm doing this, because I found that making videos, this for me personally, and does not apply to anything else, because it's about my journey, you know what I mean? So what I've learned as a artist, as a creator, and as a world builder is where I tend to create art only for the purpose of pursuing a world building project and not really exploring outside of that. So like I really don't do fan art at all, because I feel like putting my focus on fan art puts my focus away on creating something that is true to me, which doesn't really make sense, because my interests are true to me, and I'm just exploring and really appreciating my interests by doing fan art. But that's another side tangent for not today. But as I was saying, I don't tend to explore so much outside of the project that I'm doing at that moment, especially, even when it comes to the style. I normally have a very strict guideline for how I want the style to look, and I don't really allow myself to explore outside of that. So I really want to break free from that, and I really want to make sure that I have that versatility as an artist to not be scared of trying out different things and to just have that skill of just, oh, you need this idea, boom, boom, boom. You know what I mean? Idea drawn. So today I wanted to practice the style of Spider-Verse. Keep in mind, I might not finish it in this stream, but I will really love to, start the sketch of it, start the basic foundation of it, so that in next stream we can really get into the nice nitty-gritty details. But I really want to study the Spider-Verse style because it is such a beautiful movie and a beautiful art style. And it's just something that has been on my mind for a long time, but I haven't really given myself the chance to do it. So that's what I'm gonna do, you know what I mean? And I'm planning on doing this little getting good project through streams because I also find myself like streaming, although I only done 2 streams, you know what I mean? But I see streaming as an opportunity to be more candid with you guys, to just show you guys what I'm working on at the moment without the need of having to create a full 40-minute edited video and taking so much time to do that, you know what I mean? So I really want to devote my time and energy to creating art, and I feel like streaming gives me an opportunity to connect with you guys and to still, grow my community and to still just, connect with my community and connect with the people that have subscribed to me throughout, the year of me being a YouTuber. And still pursue my art fully, So without further ado, let's just get into the art making process. So I have the blank canvas here, obviously, and I would like to first bring in the references that I took so that I can show you guys my thought process of how I think I'm going to be breaking this down. So give me 1 second to just drag these photos in. I kind of forgot where I put it, I'm not gonna lie. Okay. I think I know where it is actually. Yes, here it is. I wonder if I can just drag these. Oh, I can't drag them in here. Okay. Let me just take a screenshot of them then, so I can just bring them in for you guys to see. Alright, I think that's it. Okay, let me close this, and let me put them in. Okay, so it's been a while since I've actually done a portrait. Oh, okay, I guess we don't need that then. It's been a while since I've done a portrait, since I've been really focusing on design work and costume design, but no, which is pretty much the same thing. But yeah, so that's really what I've been working on recently, and I've done like portrait sketches here and there, but I haven't like really taken the time to paint out a portrait. So it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be really fun. I'm excited, to be honest, because a thing that I really loved about designing this character that I'm going to talk about in a moment. But the thing that I really loved about designing this character was designing his likeness, which was really, really cool and really fun, really interesting, because I was playing around with like face shapes that I haven't really done before and that I haven't really experimented with before. So it was really cool, you know? And I'm dragging in some photo references I have of him so that I can get a little clearer reference of how I want to sketch his face. Here it is. Okay. So these are the little sketches I have of him. Let me just convert these into normal layers. So let me cut them out. All right. Actually, let me make that smaller. I don't need all that. And put this over here. Alright, something that I'm really excited to do with this drawing actually is to do the different tones of the face. I find this stuff so interesting, and I really love it when you can actually see the different, you know, facial tones that are actually present. So I think that's so much fun, so I'm excited to do that. Oh, and let me also bring in my reference sheet of him. Very loose reference sheet. It's not crazy, to be honest. But this is kind of the stuff that I've been working on recently. I actually have a big folder that has all the stuff that I've been working on, and I'll just take a little tour of it, take a little tour of what I've been working on. Oh my gosh, spoilers! So this was Comet's old design. Boo. Literally caca, literally Kakita drawing. But this is his old design. I mean, it's not a Kakita drawing. I really was fond of his design. I was a fan of his design, and I really liked how his design looked at this time, but I knew within me, within my core, that his design was not giving main character energy. And you kind of need that when you're designing a main character, you know what I mean? You gotta be able to look at the character and be like, this guy is a main character, you know what I'm saying? So I was like, okay, something's gotta switch up, you know what I mean? Something's gotta change. And then I took Gabriel Quinn's masterclass for design. I'm like glazing him so much, but honestly, his classes there's something in the water in that environment, honestly. But I had some different color variations here with cyan and pink, you know, to go with that. I'm not even gonna talk about it. And then I had blue, red, and yellow, and then red and green, blue, purple, and green. And I thought the blue, purple, and green was pretty cool because purple and green are really iconic color combination, to be honest. Like, I don't know what it is about it, but literally every time I see a character with purple and green, it's like engraved in my memory or something like that. And so I experimented with a orange hair because he has orange hair. Now he doesn't though, but that's okay because it's all in the best interest for the design. But I experimented with the orange hair. I liked it. I thought it was cool, you know, green and orange, a power combination, let me tell you. So then I started experimenting with different shades of purple to see what looks best with his energy. And then I decided this one looks best, but the colors seem to be a little bit saturated. Like if I were to print this out in a comic, which is what I plan to do, the colors won't look that good. So I had to change them. But even though the colors were still not like compatible with printers, so then I was like, you know what, I actually, oh sorry, I actually am gonna bring it back to when I did the second variation with the blue red and yellow, because those are primary colors, my dude. And like, you see primary colors on a character, that guy is a good guy, and he is the moment. Yeah, he is the main character. So then I saturated the blue and stuff like that, but the thing is, actually, all these colors are compatible as well, so that was a very big plus that I really liked. So all the colors are compatible with printing it out in a comic form. Like literally every single one is compatible, and I thought it was a really cool design. I really liked this little collar thing here, and his like main suit. His main suit here is like a compression suit, like a running compression suit, so it makes sense with him being a speedster, and like how it overlaps with his cowl shape. And I feel like it has a really good mixture of practicality and also like good design. Like, he looks like a superhero, but his design feels still a little bit grounded, you know what I mean? So then I also wanted to add those capoeira influences and that I have talked about previously. And that is a fighting style, if you do not know, and it's a fighting style that involves kicking and stuff like that. But I didn't want to put him into some joggers, you know what I mean? Because I really love the shape here, like this arrow shape. So then I got inspired by the design of Juri from Street Fighter, how she has kind of like those cut out pants, like jogger pants. So I applied it to his design, and I really liked how they came out. And I added some Jordans because for the swag, you know what I mean? And I was also like, you know what, capoeira kind of looks like breakdancing, so it would be cool to like combine those elements together. So that's what I did, and I really like the look of it. So this is where I got, and I got really happy with it. So this is just more zoomed in, but I also changed the shoulder pads here because I think it directs the energy really well, because you have these lines going up here and this one too going up here, but then you had the shoulder pads just straight out, you know what I mean? So having the shoulder pads tilted up a little bit, you're directing that energy really nicely. And when you zoom out, he feels a lot more of a bigger person, which is good because he is a short guy. He is like 5'6" or something like that. So it's good to have those shoulder pads to make his silhouette feel more intense, you know? And it's cool because it also, these lines down here are directing the energy downwards, pointing your eyes towards the feet. So it's like you have this really cool direction of energy that flows from like the core of his design, which is really cool. I really liked it. So then I went a little bit on a rampage and designed a whole bunch of like superhero villains, and that they're called the Black Mambas. They're what is this called? A mafia. That they're like a whole bunch of martial arts fighters, and they do with like assassins and stuff like that. So I was just like designing these. I knew the only thing that I really had in mind was like, okay, so I'll play around with the snake theme, you know what I mean, on like the purples and reds and blacks, because personally purple and red a little bit of an evil color scheme, I'm not gonna lie, but that's just my opinion. So I was also inspired by the designs in Street Fighter. So some of these you can see that are very inspired by Street Fighter, but that's okay, honestly, because I like Street Fighter. These designs look like Street Fighter, and people that like Street Fighter will appreciate these designs. You know what I'm saying? So I came up with some really, really fun designs that I really liked, and I really liked how all of them had a unique gesture and a unique presence to them. My favorite ones are 10, I really love 6, and 4 and 3, and 8. Those are really like my favorites of the favorites, to be honest. I had a lot of fun drawing them. And then I was like, you know what? In the story, this girl, which was a member of the Black Mamba Mafia, Crimson Cobra, she has a little redemption moment in the story that I'm writing, and so she changes into a superhero. So I was like, you know what, let's upgrade her design to see how she would look like as a superhero. So then I came up with this. I was a pretty much of a glorified recolor, but I changed the hair, and I really love the shape, or like the silhouette of like the super cut hair, like at the jaw length, and how it's like held up by the neck and framed by the shoulders. I think that's a super appealing silhouette, and I really liked how it spoke to her character being more confident. And I really love the symbolism of cutting off hair as like cutting off old ties, you know what I mean? So here I developed the design more because there was just something about it that was not sitting right with me. Or I was talking to my sister about the design, and there was something about the design with her that wasn't sitting right. And so I was like, oh, that's so frustrating, but I totally understand, because this is the first rendition of it, you know what I mean? And the chances of me getting it the first try are very slim. Like, of a good design are very slim. So then I changed it to this one, and I really, really, really love how this design turned out. I think it's a very, very pretty design, and I feel like they look really well together. So yeah. And I also gave her some ice skates too, because she can like manipulate water and turn it into ice daggers. So I was like, you know what, let's just give her ice skates too, because why not? So then I was trying to design their home clothes. Her design came really easily. Her name is Bellator, which is the name for a warrior in Latin, which is so cool. But yeah, Bellator's design for her home outfit came really easy. And honestly, this is my favorite thing about designing superheroes, which is designing their house outfits. I find it so much fun because it's like you're just getting to know the character, and I love it. I love it so much. But I was trying to draw Comet's house outfit, but I kind of ate so hard with this pose. Like it just came out of my noggin, and I was like, you know what, and I just drew it down, you know. So I was trying to do something like that for Comet, but it was just not coming out right. So I was like, you know what, let's take a break from that. And then I was designing a villain character for my world, and I had where are they? Oh, child. Okay. The point is, I had the design of Comet and Bellator here while I was drawing, and I've been doing that throughout when I draw more characters, because it helps ground me so that the designs do not get, you know, too far out from how I want them to look, which is like a superhero world. So here, oh sorry, I was drawing some villains, and he is like this guy who was in pursuit of like all knowledge in the world, right? But he's a little evil, so he let it corrupt him, and he created all these he took access from all these different timelines, right? And he found every variant of himself across the timelines, and he merged all the knowledge of all of them into one, right? And he's also a telepath, so he can go into people's minds and consume their knowledge to grow his power, right? And it's honestly a really complex thing, but that's like the main idea behind it. But when he consumed all that knowledge, it was too much for him. So because of his telepathic powers, his body mutated into like this cosmic entity of like consuming knowledge, right? So yeah, he went all crazy and stuff like that. And then this is kind of like the Silver Surfer to Galactus, where she's kind of like his herald or his emissary. It's like a whole story, and I don't really feel like getting into it because I still want to draw in this stream. But then I was like, you know what? I'm gonna try this again. And then boom, look at this guy. Doesn't he look so cool? I literally drew him today in the morning before I started streaming, and it is just like, dude, like this guy is intense, y'all. And what like the idea behind him is that his mind mutated into a black hole because of all the knowledge that he is consuming, and it's like contained within this yellow mask. And he has this ability to create chaotic energy because the teleforce, right, is like a natural force within the world. And kind of like Star Wars, he can manipulate it into the dark side by creating this like storm with telekinetic energy and corrupting it. And so he's like creating this thunderstorm of chaos energy, and he's like harnessing it, and it's like these black holes with lightning coming out. Literally so epic, I'm not gonna lie. I find that so cool. So then here, as you can see, I was also drawing with the previous designs in mind, you know, referencing back. But here I was redrawing the herald, right, the emissary, and I was thinking her name could be Calypso because that's like a cool name, and I like the name, so that's her name. But it also means to hide or hidden. So I really want to play with some really cool mystery themes in this world and the storytelling. So I'm thinking I can probably tie in some elements with her. But yeah, so she's also harnessing that chaos energy, and she's also a telepath as well. So she has very similar powers to him, which is the main guy, which I'm calling him Paradox because of his ability to access different dimensions of time, like at different timelines. So her name, Calypso, she's like a villain throughout the story, right? So I thought she was really cool. I just designed her like not too long ago. So yeah, and I thought it'd be cool that her sleeves like gradient outwards toward like the cosmic galaxy to show that her powers are on a cosmic level. As you can see, I was really inspired by Marvel, but that's okay because I like my inspirations. But yeah, so that's where I got. Oh, and she also is like this cool ring of energy, which I think that looks pretty sick, I'm not gonna lie. But that's that, and that's the update. So I'm gonna save this before I exit out. So yeah, that's where that was a huge tangent from this little area here. But yeah, this is how he looks like. So in this sketch, I want to draw his normal face because I've been drawing him a lot with his mask on. So I want to just take a peek of how he looks. I'm going to actually copy this as well because it is the most recent thing I have of him. Boom. Oh, what is that? What the heck, man? Oh, here it is. Alright. So now I have my references. I have everything I need. So let's get drawing. I'm excited. So I want to draw him with his head, like him having headphones, kind of similar to this, but taking off the headphones. So I'll get like a nice 3/4 shot. Let me get this color here. So how have you guys been, actually? I would love to hear how you guys have been. I have been doing pretty great, to be honest. I have been so excited for Christmas. I got my mother some pretty awesome gifts, to be honest. And I've also just been like super inspired recently because I just watched like a couple days ago, I think like last week, I watched Sonic 3 for the first time. Crazy that I that it's my first time watching the third Sonic movie. But oh my goodness, that movie was literally amazing. Like that movie was amazing. And it got me super duper inspired to just draw and my superheroes. So yeah, and I've also been watching the X-Men animated 1990s series, and I've been having a lot of fun with that as well. His face is very rectangular, so let's get that in there as well. This is how I always draw his face. I always start off with a rectangle. Alright, let's erase that. And his ear is going to be right here. And his jawline. That's a big chin. let me tone that down actually. And this is also my first time streaming with music on in the background. My past two streams I've only had like no music because I don't have a Spotify Premium. So I've like been doing it because I didn't want to have ads in the middle of me streaming, you know? Like that would just be like not good. How does that look actually? Ooh. Okay, that's fine. That is a-okay. Alright. Oh, what the heck? So yeah, so recently I'm trying out the free trial for Spotify Premium. And so I've just been listening to music. I listen to music a lot because I draw a lot. So, you know, obviously I listen to music. It really helps me focus and get into the flow state, if you know what I mean. But yeah, I've been listening to a lot of music and it's been so much fun. I've also created a playlist for my characters, Comet, which is the guy I'm drawing now, and Bellator, which is so much fun. It was a lot of fun. I really enjoy making it, and it's also helping me a lot to like just get into the mentality of drawing those characters. Because like knowing the type of music they would listen to, and some of it being very story driven. A lot of the music is from the 80s, and they have like that very specific sound type. It's not just 80s music. A lot of it is like music from Journey and Pat Benatar. Because when I think of superheroes, it's like very nostalgic for me, and the media I was watching as a child had that type of music. Like the Transformers movie is a very good example of that, of like that type of sound of music where it's like very heavy on the synth, which the music we're listening to right now is synth, so that's pretty fun. but it's very heavy on the synth, and yeah. So it's kind of like that sound, that music identity that is a pretty big staple of the world and of these character stories. So it was really cool doing that music. Alright, so that's the mouth. That's the mouth line. Alright. You know, honestly, learning about the different planes of the face was so much fun. My favorite thing to learn when I am drawing is an muscle anatomy. Skeleton anatomy is also pretty fun, but the muscle anatomy is really where it's at for me. I just think it's so cool how the muscles like fold into one another and the shapes that they make. So it's like it's so cool to learn, and the planes of the face is kind of the same thing, where there's like a lot of like very cool shapes. Like something that I learned really recently actually was like this triangle that is very common in the face, and like even in different different angles. Like the planes in the face have this like flat area that catches the light in a very flat way. So like here you can see it nice and clear from the eyes, from where the irises are. Let me get a brighter color. From where the irises are, there's like this triangle that comes down because of just how the planes of the face are. Like there is another triangle. Like with this girl, you can see it here. How there's just that universal triangle, and that's cool because ever since I figured that out, it makes the face so much more dynamic for me. Like here you can see like the way that the cheekbones are coming down. You can see here when you trace the eye line how there's kind of like that natural triangle that is formed. So when I found that out, I was like, oh my gosh, that's so cool. And it makes like the overall structure of the face look so much more dynamic because triangles are very dynamic shapes. So like here, we can see that triangle like right there. And so I should probably bring the nose down a little bit further. And the mouth as well. Yeah, and that looks better. Like that's crazy. But I'm not saying, well, that's something that I noticed. It might not apply the same with you guys, but like even here, like in this drawing that I did, like that triangle you can see is like pretty noticeable, to be honest. At least to me. I might be crazy, to be honest. I might be seeing things, but that's just me. That's just me. So let me do the hairline. Yeah, it looks good. And I'll do the basic shape of the hair. That's literally him. Ugh, now I have to do the headphones. Okay, let me just do the face and then I'll get back to the headphones later. Let me refine this drawing. Yee! Ooh, I like how that looks. That's nice. I like that. I like that a lot. Oh, actually, you know what? I have another drawing that I have. I don't know if it's here. Where I drew out his face like a bunch of times as like a likeness practice because I was kind of like losing touch with how he looked like. So I wanted to make sure that yes, here it is. Oh, actually, let me switch to the larger screen. I'm gonna bring it in anyways, but here it is. Pretty cool, pretty fun. Also have more. Oh, goodness gracious. Let me move that out. But I have more here. Oh. But that's not important. Let me just get it in. And I'll send it to myself. Let me open it up really quick. Let me place it in here. Oh my goodness, that's huge. Jeez. It's like a jump scare. My goodness. Yep. Alright. I'm really liking how this eye is looking, to be honest. Hold on a second. His forehead is a little too small. Or maybe his eyebrows are just too much. That's good. I really like the nose I did in this one. So I'm just gonna use that nose. What the heck? I kind of forgot how to draw a nose, to be honest. Okay, that's looking good. Is that looking at me? Yeah, it's looking at me. Yeah, that's good. Wait, is that accurate? I kind of forgot that I was trying to replicate the style of a Spider-Verse. Okay, I think a lot of it comes into the painting, because the line art itself is like not like super prominent. It's kind of just me doing me right now, to be honest. So this is kind of where I think I'm gonna get a little tripped up here, to be honest. It's always the other eye. Maybe if I make it a little bigger. Okay. also think it's because there's a lot of folds around his eye. So if I draw those in, I think it'll help it a lot more. Oh, actually, I'm just wrong. Actually, I'm not following the guides that I put in for myself. Okay. Let's draw that eyelash coming out. Oof, I love it. I love drawing eyelashes that come out of the silhouette. It's my favorite thing to do as an artist. Yeah, that's good. Let me outline it. Add some shadow so it doesn't look so crazy. How do I light? Okay. Well, the pupil itself is actually a lot bigger. My gosh. He looks crazy. Like his pupils are super dilated. And then there's a little pop, 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 square highlight. Heh, look at that. Like, he's alive. How did the eyes look? Okay, I think the eyes are... They're there. Maybe I will find out what is a little bit more wrong. Or maybe if there even is anything wrong, I'll find it out later in the drawing. Okay. Okay, their noses are noses, so there's no skimping out on this. Okay, I mean, yeah, it's definitely a nose. It's so nose core. dimples. Very fine, very fine. Do a little cheekbone. Actually, I don't think the cheekbone is really necessary. Is this? Yeah. Trying to get the angle of the eyebrows right. Sorry if I go a little bit quiet sometimes. I'm just kind of locked in, I'm not gonna lie. I think, would you be seeing that there, realistically? Like if the actual perspective was perspectiving, would you see that there? He has some pretty humongous eyes. But I think that's okay. You would see a little bit of the tape there. Okay. It's working. It's working. Now I just gotta do like a fun little smirk. For some reason I have trouble doing little smirks. Does that look, I don't know, it just looks like a wiggly mouth. To be honest. Gosh. He has some pretty thin lips. No, those are too thick. I think that's coming out a little bit too much here. Is that looking okay? His chin, I think, is just a little bit much. So let me pull out the liquify, bring it in just a bit. Not so much though, because he does have a big chin. Oh, okay. Yeah, he was like a Giga Chad. And I think his eyes are a little bit too big for my liking. So I think I'm gonna pull out the liquify. Oop. I'm gonna do the liquify again. And just bring in his eyes just a little bit. And bring it in a little bit. Yeah. But I had to open up the liquify. I had to open up this eye here. Let me zoom in a little bit. I had to pull open that eye just a little bit. Okay. Yeah, that looks a lot better. Okay, yeah. Now his eyes aren't like super massive, because they were pretty huge. Let me erase this. I don't think I really need that, to be honest. Okay. I think this is looking good. Let's try and wing an ear out here without looking at a reference. That's a little crazy. Oh. Is that how an ear works? I think I might need a reference actually. Yeah, because these guys don't have ears. Let me put up an ear really quickly. Okay, I think I might have overestimated. Okay, so that comes out here. This comes down, and there's a little bump here, and then it connects to the ear right there. There's a little weird thing happening there, and then here is that Y that I was thinking of, that Y shape. Let me see how it would look like bringing this part of the ear in. having this part come out like this, but this part not overlapping it, I think that'll be better. Yeah. And then that part right there. Oh goodness, ears are so weird, honestly. But I think that's okay. And he does have gauges. So let me put those in there. Very fine. And I think that's the basic shape of the face, to be honest. Should I add that cheekbone there? I don't think I really need it. I think he's fine like that. Alright, now let me check with these other drawings. Oh, I almost forgot his freckles. My goodness. Let me put in those freckles. It has one here, and then here. These two areas. And then two here. And then I remember these three being here. Oh, and also that part of the face that is kind of the forehead here. Alright, that's looking good. And I think I'm just going to, let me actually take that out. We don't really need that there. Alright, I mean that's literally him. Like that's literally him. Let me color in the eyebrows a little bit, just to see how it looks. Yeah. Let me add some hair strands. Although that's not really faithful to the, well, it's just his design as a character. He has some pretty bushy eyebrows, so I want to make that clear. Let me put it closer. Right there. Alright, I think that is good. I think we're good. Let me actually put this there because that's how it is on the other side, and we gotta stay true to it. And I think I'll remove that wrinkle there. Okay, I think that is good. And I'm just going to color in these just to see how it would look like. And like his eye circles, which would be here. Oh goodness, sorry. Here. And there's that little section there. Where it's not so dark. And then this here. Oh, that music stopped. And then here as well. here at the border of his little eye bag. And then here as well, but let me actually do that. Actually, yeah, I'll do that with an airbrush. Oh wait, let me actually look at the tones of the face. So it's kind of like it skips that. It's here. And then it comes down right there. And then I imagine it like that. Oh, accidentally selected the eye there, which is not accurate. Okay, and let me get this round brush. I'm going to use the airbrush actually for that one. Alright. And then a little shine. Teehee. That's literally him. Alright, well that looks good. Let me do the hair on this layer so that I don't get it confused. Put that back to 5 or 9 is fine, whatever. Oh, and let me actually color in the top lip since that catches shadow most of the time, and it's also will be a little bit naturally darker. Yeah. Looks good. Looks good. And his hair shape. Alright. So, it kind of swoops out of here. And it creates that very fun triangular shape. Clusters there in the corner, like a side part. And then it falls down over his face, but not over his eyebrows. And then it peeks out. It might be a little bit too much. Let me have it peek out a little bit sooner. And then what a guy. What a guy. He has this little spike that comes out like that. Let me cut this part out. Oh, let me actually as well cut out the hairline. What? I drew it on the wrong layer. I can't believe this. Oh well. I'll just cut it out. Like this. Boom chakalaka. Then I'll put it in the right layer. Right there. Oh! It got the freaking gradient. Dude, what the heck? I'm gonna have to be like ultra careful selecting this. Okay. Let me just remove this while I'm here so that I do not make that same mistake again. Let me erase the hairline. It has that little swoop there. Let me just erase that line. Okay. He has these thicker parts in the side. You know, to be honest, I'm not really so much of a fan of lo-fi music, cause I think the drum beat can be a little bit too repetitive for my taste. But to be honest, these beats are really like satisfying, like really nice to hear. If you're curious about who the author is or where you can listen to this music, I put the link to the description. I put the link to the music in the description below. Goodness gracious, that should not have been as hard to say as it was. I think that's the basic hair shape in. Oh wait, actually I would like to do a little part that folds over the hair. Just to see how that looks. Oh, that's fun. I like that. It's like a little cyclone. Okay. Oh, that's literally him. That's literally Noah Aldrich, aka Comet. I kind of want his hair to be a little bigger though. Like, to be honest. Let me do his neck. Yeah. I don't like the Adam's apple. I don't like it. Okay, let me just keep it like that. There's no need to add random lines. Awesome. Alright. That's his neck. Let's see how it would look like if we had... Oh! I think that's a bit too big. I think that's a little bit too big, to be honest. Let me just make it a little longer. A little bit taller. I don't like it. I think that is a fine shape. I want it to be extra enough to be recognizable, but not too much that it's just silly. Let me make sure that everything is on the same. Yeah. Yeah. Everything looks good. I think I can start moving on to the painting of the thing, which is very, very exciting. Let me bring up my references again. Yeah. This part should be shaded as well. That's pretty awesome. Okay, let's stop dilly-dallying and let's get into the actual painting. So, let me actually open up that because it has some pretty useful notes. Okay. So, the notes are still illegible. But okay, it seems like it's they're painting over the line art. Let me get the skin color in here. Let me get his reference sheet. Okay, because that has all the colors that I need. for his skin. We can close that. So let me remove that. That's just a little guide. Oh, and let me erase these parts. There we go. I think that's good. Let me do the hairline a little bit better. Oops, wrong color. And the forehead turned out to be an adequate size. I was worried that it was going to be a little bit too small. I move it a little bit further down so that it's not... Okay. Let me merge these. And I think I'm going to do... Oh, let me move this down too. Just want to make sure that I have it as a guide if I need it. And I believe... What's this? Oh, hello. What character am I drawing? This is actually my original character, Comet, who's his name is Noah Aldrich. He's my superhero character within my superhero world. This is his super suit. It's a pretty fun suit. I really like how it came out. So I just wanted to draw him in the Spider-Verse style to try to experiment with that style. And I haven't created an actual painted portrait for him. So that's what I'm doing. I'm gonna change the background to white. Cause I like drawing on a white background. It makes the colors really nice and pop really well. So I think I'm going to select and then paint bucket it so that it's just one large shape. Oh, you like the colors I used for his suit? Thank you very much. I also liked the colors that I chose. I went for there was like a whole bunch of different variations that I did, but I really liked the red, blue, and yellow. It's a very nice iconic color scheme. You know, the primary colors. It's hard to go wrong with that, to be honest. So I'm very happy with how it turned out. And to be honest, there was like a whole bunch of different iterations for his design. Like, it took me like months to get that design that I have now to a place that I'm happy with. And like, his old design looked nothing like how he looked now, to be honest. I can show you actually how his old design looked. Let me just take out these shapes. Look, let me show you his old design. Let me pull up my sketchbook. Oh, what are his powers? Very interesting, you ask. His power, he can like, he's very similar to Gambit. Look, this was his old design. So I'm very happy I changed his design to what I have now. But his powers are that he can manipulate kinetic energy. So with that, he can like go really fast because his body has to release the kinetic energy because it's too much energy for his body to handle. And the way that he releases it is by running. So he's kind of a speedster as well. But his powers also utilize momentum a lot. So like the more he moves, the more kinetic energy he generates and that he's able to manipulate, and the faster his movements become. But also, which I think is a fun little twist to it, because his powers are kind of like Gambit from the X-Men, where he can charge things as well with kinetic energy. But also what I have is that his powers also include sorry, I'm like locking in, manipulating potential energy as well, which is the energy that is stored within an object that can transform or convert into kinetic energy. I believe that's what it is. Because honestly, I had to like do some research behind the science of how that works. But I think how it is that it's like you have like an object sitting on the shelf, right? And based off of the height of the object, the potential energy of that object is higher. Therefore, the kinetic energy it releases when it moves is higher as well. So pretty much potential energy is the potential for how much energy an object can exert when it is in motion. So it's like his abilities, it's like if he's able to manipulate potential energy, I imagine him being able to absorb the potential energy from his environment and convert it to kinetic energy to further increase his speed. And I was also thinking like maybe he can also like he can use that power as a form of like blocking and parrying, where he can like absorb the kinetic energy from his opponent's like punches and like kicks it and stuff like that, and he can like redirect that and stuff like that. It's something that I still have to play around with, but I am really excited to see how it would go. Put in his hair. Oh, let me take out this part. And let me put his blonde hair. Let me get in a adjustment layer. Human saturation, to make sure that my values are okay. Yeah, close. Alright, there's a difference enough for it to have a different value so that it doesn't blend in weirdly. How much have you developed the story of this character? To be honest, quite a bit. I can actually show you, because I have a mood board, or not a mood board, a Milanote board about his world. So actually it's pretty funny because be quiet. Because I have like different drafts here. This is like a behind the scenes look, so this is like pretty crazy what I'm doing here, to be honest, because these are like the first drafts, right? Like this is the first draft and this is the second draft, and you can see how vast his these drafts are, because this one was like, okay, I'm really focusing a lot on the story. It's like I'm gonna know every single thing I want to know about this world. So I have like these huge documents and also Google documents here on the side, and I went pretty crazy. But the thing is, when I did that, I'm like, okay, so I wrote everything I want to know, like literally what do I do now, you know what I mean? And I kind of hit like a plateau of creativity, because I kind of already experimented so much just there all at once. And so when I was creating characters, I was like nitpicking the draft I was doing, and I was like, okay, I can do a character for this and this. And Noah Aldrich, which is this guy, the main guy, he didn't really fit organically with the story, you know? And I really loved drawing him, and he started off as a comfort character of just guy is a superhero and he's trying to juggle normal life with being a superhero. So I love that so much, but I lost that here. So I was like, okay, you know what? I'm doing this again. I'm starting a new draft. and I started this one, and I was like, you know what? It's not hitting. So then I did it again, but this time I focused a lot more on the genre of the actual story and really incorporating that root of the story. You know what I mean? So, like, a field chem student absorbs anomalies and has the power to manipulate kinetic and potential energy, and has to learn how to use his powers while juggling everyday life and developing as a person to gain a deeper understanding of emotional intelligence while dealing with his pride and close mindedness, all with the help of his friends and mentors. So, I having that is like a really good reminder, but I also went further with the actual pillars of the world. So it's pretty a long, like a lot, and I'm obviously not going to read all of this, but it was really cool learning about martial arts and the genre of martial arts storytelling. So I really had a fun time incorporating that into my world. And also I have some character notes here, which this was a mood board for a character I was designing earlier, which is this character. He is the Void King. Ooh! I'm sorry. It's just every time I open up this drawing, it's like, ooh, shivers are down my spine. Cause like to me, he looks pretty sick. And honestly, I'm like surprised that I actually drew this. Like this is crazy. But this is the Void King. But anyways, I'm like tangenting right now. So yeah, this is a little mood board I had while designing him, and some notes I have on the character stories and stuff like that, and also some villains here. So I would say that his world is pretty developed, and I'm having a lot of fun working on the world, because I'm doing it not as like writing everything out, but I'm allowing the genre of, oh, the Void King looks so tough. Thank you, thank you. I know, right? He looks so cool. But I'm writing out the world, prioritizing the genre and mood and the root of the story, and it's giving me so much opportunities to just experiment with the characters. And an example of that are the Black Mambas, which are like a group of mafia members. Obviously, this is like the first of their designs, so it will most likely change. But drawing out these characters as just okay, I'm just gonna draw and see how it goes. And I was able to come up with so many fun ideas from that. So like, writing out the world with just focusing on the genre helps me a lot more with experimenting how I want the story to look, and I feel like it's the best draft that I have done. Like I'm not writing out this draft and going like, oh, but I feel like the previous draft had more impact. I feel like this one, a lot of the ideas that I have are coming together really nicely, and I'm really excited to just continue pulling up with the world, you know? And I'm happy that you have interest in the world. So yeah. Hello, Sofan. How are you doing? I'm just here drawing. I was talking about my world to one of the commenters, Bomber, who asked some questions about my characters. So I was just showing them around. I'm drawing my character, the main character, him, my superhero character, in case you were wondering. Let me get the brows in. So yeah, that's my world right now, and I am so excited to continue talking more about it and creating more art for it. I said earlier in the stream, oh, sorry, the music cut out. I was just like so in it, I completely forgot. But I was talking earlier in the stream how I've been really inspired recently, because I have, like a week ago or something like that, I watched the Sonic 3. Oh, what martial art does Noah use? He actually uses capoeira, which is not a very typical martial arts style, but it is a martial arts style, and I did look it up. It is a martial arts style, and it's very similar to Taekwondo, but it's also like it kind of looks like breakdancing, and it's a lot of kicks and stuff like that. Like I'm pretty sure that's the majority of what it is. I can actually pull up a video of capoeira so that you guys can have a good idea of what it is. But yeah, so in his design also, I wanted to make sure that it was evident that his martial arts is capoeira. So let's watch this little video here. So it's like flips and stuff like that, and it's so cool. And the reason I chose this and the reason why I'm sticking with capoeira is because when you're actually fighting, you're in a constant stage of motion. So it's like you're not stopping at all. You're always moving, right? And that's perfect for his character as a superhero who is able to manipulate kinetic energy. And the more energy he has, the more speed he has. So I wanted to make sure that in his design, if you see here, they have like these white pants and a corda around their waist that signifies their rank and their status and their skill. So I wanted to have those white pants and the corda around his waist, and I feel like I was able to do it in a really subtle way that it's not like so obvious what it is, but it's like if you know what I'm referencing, you're able to pick up on it, which is pretty fun. So yeah, that's the martial arts that he uses, capoeira. Yeah, so it's really fun. And I also did a sorry, I'm like continue going on like side tangents, but I did a little movement concept for his like attack patterns, which was based off of that video that I just showed you guys. So it's like he starts here and then he like curves down. This is with his old design, so it's not updated. So this is with his whole design, and he like curves down and he kicks the enemy, and then he twists around in the air, kicks the enemy again, and then he twists, he charges up, he twists, and then boom, kicks again, and then he comes in with the momentum and he flips and kicks again, and then that's the end of his cycle. So it's like 5 attack hits that he has. And then yeah, also another thing that I had in his design is that these little balls here, these little charges, are like similar to like a stone and sling, where he's able to wrap it around in his arm with this little sling that he has and spin it around and charge it with kinetic energy, so that when he throws it out, it's like a bigger explosion, you know, similar to Gambit in X-Men. Let me close this because I don't want to have it blocking up. So yeah, that's his. That's a little insight of how his powers work. Let me drink some water, actually. Thanks for all the questions, by the way. It's super fun talking to you guys about my character, because I really like him a lot. How long have you been practicing art, and when did I start? To be honest, that is a great question. I started drawing, honestly, ever since I can remember, and I feel like that's such a like an oh okay bro, we get it, you're an artist. But I cannot lie when I say I've been drawing as long as I remember. But I will say, like in like old family videos and stuff like that, you would always see me with a paper and pen. But I will say that when I entered in 8th grade, I got put into a magnet school that had art in it, and the professor was a college art teacher, and he was like a professional artist and painter. So I was able to learn a lot about my technicalities there, and I will say that it did push my skills a lot. But a lot of what I was learning and the practices of what I was learning kind of formed like a roadblock within my art, where it's kind of like I was stuck in old ways of drawing and learning new material that exploration was kind of like not a thing that I would do, but I took a master class by Gabriel Quinn in last year, and I would say that's really when I started, like, you know what, I'm gonna go ham, I'm gonna get good, you know what I mean? So I had that little like moment of like really learning my stuff and trying, and like also like finding out and getting more in tune with myself, because in high school I was surrounded by like a lot of like not good influences, to be honest, because it was such a secular environment, obviously because it's school, you know, but it was not a good environment for me mentally and spiritually. And I when I graduated high school, I was able to develop a lot more into my relationship with God. And ever since then, I was able to really get back in tune with the reason why I create in the first place, which is to just create the stuff that I like, you know what I mean? And so I feel like the art that I'm making now, like it when I like if I was a kid looking at the art that I'm making now, I would really be happy that, wow, I can't believe I did that. You know what I mean? Like as a kid. So yeah, and right now this drawing that I'm doing is actually part of a little series that I want to do where it's focused on getting good. And I know that's really vague, but the whole premise of it is really just experimenting and allowing myself and giving myself the gift to just see where I can go if I try out so many things, right? Like so many different styles and processes and subject matter that I wouldn't normally draw, and just allow myself to experiment and explore, because a lot of my mindset was like, okay, I have this world building project that I'm doing, and I don't want to create any art that is not actively pushing this story along. And that was kind of an unhealthy mindset, because I got like stuck, you know, and I was starting to become, well, I wouldn't say I was starting to become stagnant, but if I stayed in that mentality, I could very easily see myself becoming stagnant, you know? So, doing this project, I feel like would really help me combat that and to just become more of a versatile artist, which is what I want. I want to be a versatile artist. I don't want to be known for one single thing. I want to have range and not be scared to fail when that range doesn't work out, you know? And yeah, so like right now I'm studying the Spider-Verse style and learning how to paint in that style because I really love it. The movie is absolutely beautiful, and I really wanted to try it out. Not too long ago, I tried out the Marvel Rivals art style, and I can definitely see the lasting effects it had on my art. And I feel like I want to do more of that, you know, and I don't want to hold back on that, and I want to continue learning. So that's what I'm doing. Just learning, and I don't want to stop learning. Let's give him a shirt. No. Let's give him the suit that he has on. Be a fun, like, I'm just without my mask at the moment. I'm just doing me. Watch me do me. Me. Oh, what the heck? What the hecky? Oh, because I had an eraser equipped. What the heck? Oh. I lost track of where I was. Let's put in the shoulder pads, to be honest. Let's see how that would look. Absolutely not. That would just be too much. Too much. Take the focus off. No, that's not accurate to how the shape is. Okay, that looks better. That looks better. Alright, I think that is... actually, no, it's not. Put in those eye bags that he has. Oh, sorry, I didn't know you had a question. Digital art or traditional art, which one do you prefer and why? Well, I have okay, well, honestly, I do love traditional art. I love the, like, traditional art feels like a lot more like intimate with its, like, it's just you and like the painting, and it's like, obviously, you know, it's that when you're doing digital, but I feel like digital has a lot more tools to get the ideas out a lot quicker, and to be like, okay, I'm gonna use digital because I want to get these ideas down. That's at least like what I use it for. And also, like, traditional, there's a lot of setup that goes into, like, okay, I have to put my paint water and stuff like that. But I do like traditional when it comes to sketching as well. Traditional is fun coming to sketch, And that is honestly a pretty tough question, a lot harder than I thought it was going to be. I would have to say, I think I use digital a lot more because of the speed with it, and I really like having the capacity to just put down ideas quick. So I think I would say digital because of that. And I also like how you have a lot more access to things in digital, like being able to put in some cool textures and like lighting effects and stuff like that, lighting effects. But with traditional, there's just something that about traditionally painting that feels like you're like connecting with yourself. It's kind of like a little meditating kind of, and it's like cool to actually feel the pencil on the paper. But at least for now, what I'm doing now, I would have to say digital, to be honest. Okay, I'm gonna do the like redness on the cheek and like the eye bags in the painting stage, which is now. Okay, honestly, I'm a little bit nervous to enter the painting stage because that's really where the actual style of Spider-Verse starts to come out in the painting, because of how like beautifully done the painting is. But I will say I am noticing a lot of like rake brushes, which is like brushes like this. Let me get them really quick. Like brushes, oops. What? Oh, because I'm in the, like brushes like this. I see a lot of that, like especially in the hair here, but also like this section right here. You can see a little bit of a rake going there. And the shadows are pretty simple. They're not like super blended out. Like it's blended out with paint strokes and stuff like that. Like actually adding more color to it. At least that's what it looks like to me. So they're using rake brushes and also like obviously halftone brushes. I don't really have a good halftone, to be honest. I think this is like the best I'm gonna get for that. Which is, I guess, okay. Bomber said digital always felt less stressful, like if I made one mistake during traditional it's over. However, I noticed that there is more of a learning curve when it comes to digital, like learning all the features. Definitely, I do agree with you there. Especially if you're learning a software like Photoshop, that could be very daunting at first. I was intimidated learning Photoshop when I started, to be honest, because of how much it was. So, but like when you get the hang of it, it does start to feel a lot more. Oh, you love the Spider-Verse art style? Yeah, it's really beautiful. And but like when you get the hang of it, it feels like it's easier to get into the swing of things. Okay, I feel like I'm procrastinating. Okay, I'm just going to lay in the basic brush, and I'm not even going to think about it so much. Okay. Okay. I'm gonna use I'm gonna use the lasso tool. Just laying out some basic shadowed shapes. I don't really know the lighting scenario, actually, but I think I've already figured it out. I think I'm gonna have the shadows. Let me actually how is the... Okay, I would say like it's a orangey color, slightly darker, like that. Yeah. So I would say the shadows, there's a shadow of the hair here. Comes down. Forms a little shape right there. Comes down here. Let me connect it. Let me actually deselect this that I have here. I don't want to paint on the hair. Oh, bruh. Okay. Deselect this area here, because... Oh, no, not that one. This area here, because this would be catching some of that light. Actually, no, it won't. It will be this part that will be catching the light. Okay. Let me obviously deselect the eyebrows. I would use multiply layer actually to just multiply all of this so that I can get into one like shape. But to be honest, I really want to avoid using the multiply layer so that I can have more control over the colors that I choose. Oops, actually. So that I can have more control over the colors that I use. And so that things don't get accidentally doled out. Okay. Be like that, because that would be creating a little bit of a shine. That would be catching a little bit of light. And that would be catching light too. Like that. And this as well. Oopsies. This as well would be catching some light. Like that. This as well would have a slight shadow, not as dark as the other side of the face. And then here I have a shadow. Yep. Okay. Oops. Let me color in that area already. That's already filled in, and I'll deselect it so that I don't paint over it by accident. Okay. Hello, Vagabond set. And Bomber asked if I watch anime. I had like a huge phase of my life where I watched a lot of anime. Right now, oh darn it, I forgot the color I was using. Right now, I don't really watch a lot of anime, to be honest. But I do plan on watching Dragon Ball Z. I haven't watched Dragon Ball Z at all in my life. I do love animated shows. And I know I said this like a bunch of times that I watched the Sonic 3 movie, but honestly, it was just so awesome that it left such an impact on me. And I looked it up to see, because I was like watching the movie, and I was like, okay, I don't really know so much about Dragon Ball Z, but I know how the fight. I have like a pretty good idea of how the fight scenes looked, and like a lot of what I was seeing in the movie reminded me a lot of Dragon Ball Z. So then I was like, you know what? Let me look it up if it's actually similar to Dragon Ball Z, and it says that it is, and they actually get a lot of inspiration from that show. So then I was like, okay, you know what? Say less. And then I have it on my list to watch. But right now I'm watching the X-Men 1990s series, the original one, not the X-Men 97. But yes, that's that. Okay. There would be... I'm kind of winging the light, to be honest, which is not good. I should have a reference with me, but to be honest, I don't really feel like I need one right now. Like, I would pull up a reference if I'm, like, getting into a pretty sticky situation. But I feel like right now, just doing the basics, I think I'm... Oops! What just happened? I think I'm fine. Let me get... Oh, the music stopped. What the heck, man? Actually, let's do this one. Let me get an eraser. How does that look? Does that make sense? What? Why is there words in this song? I thought this was like instrumental. No. At least I don't think it would be catching that much light. Oh, actually, the nose. Let's see how that would look. I don't know. I don't know. I don't think the shadow will be that far off. Maybe I should get a reference. Maybe I should get a reference. I guess I'll get a reference. Oh, I have to end stream soon. It's getting a little later, but I guess I can go for a little bit longer. Face lighting reference. Okay. This is what I'm looking for. Let me just take a screenshot of it. It's a pretty low quality screenshot, but to be honest, I don't need all the nitty-gritty details. I just need enough to go off of. Open, go to my gallery. Oops. It's so small, but honestly, it's okay. Alright, so it would be right here. And that. Yeah. Okay. Maybe I should use reference a little more often. But honestly, everything else I got pretty spot on. Maybe I know a little bit more than I think. Okay. Now, this side of the, we'll be catching some shadow. We'll be casting some shadow. Ooh, that looks so tasty. I don't know, it's hard to explain, but it's just when you're an artist and you do some brush strokes, it just looks so tasty. It looks so like realistic, you know what I'm saying? And I do love the highlighted eyelid look. But I think I'm gonna go in with another shadow value, so I don't want that to be so bright actually. And let me, there we go. And then here, looks like there's a little bit of tension in that brow, so it's creating a little bit of a shadow. Okay. Pretty fun, pretty cool, pretty quirky. And obviously you would have some, I say obviously a lot, like it sounds a little mean to be honest, but you would have some shadow coming over here, especially since his eyes are very intense. You would have a lot of shadow cast from them. Pretty awesome. Seems like there's a little cut here, and then it comes down. Then there's a little shadow here. And then here there's also a shadow. Okay. Wouldn't be that intense. The shadow's not that intense. This is so much fun. I'm having a blast. I'm so happy you guys are here with me. Boom shakalaka? Sorry, sometimes you just gotta boom shakalaka, you know? Okay. I had to close my eyes for a second to like see how the plane of the eyebrow would be, because this girl has some very delicate eyebrows, but that is not the case with Comet or Noah Aldrich. He has some thick eyebrows, so he would be casting a shadow. And then here, because this is a round shape, this will be also casting a shadow. Very, very subtle shadows, but that's okay, because what I'm doing now is just putting in the basic shadow shapes so that when I get into the more painted stuff, I have a guide to go off of. And it's pretty, like, look at this. These are like super simple shadow shapes. Like, I might be going too intense. Well, honestly, I don't think there's such a thing as too intense when you're doing a style study of the Spider-Verse style, because that is an intense style. Ooh, I like that soft edge that I did there. This part would be in shadow, like, no doubt. Oh. And this part as well. But there will be a little bit of light catching. There would be a shadow there because that kind of forms a little bit of a pocket there. And then a little bit right there. Oh, actually, let me do this first. And then I'll... Okay, this is looking pretty fun. Oh, I almost forgot to shade the nose. Silly me. I'll do a very... there we go. Okay. Yeah, that looks a lot better. Okay, her nose is kind of pointed up. Her head is kind of at a different angle. So I'm gonna have to kind of wing it here, but I think I'm okay. I think I'm fine. make that little part of the nose to indicate its shape a little better. A little button nose, too much of a button nose. Okay. And this part as well. I think that's a bit much for my liking. Let me erase this part. Okay, I think it's also the line here. Okay. And also, I kind of have to like, I think I'm gonna just lower the opacity. I'm gonna put this on multiply. And I'm going to lower the opacity so that I don't rely on the lines too much. But I think for now, I'll rely on the lines a little bit. A little bit of a rebel. Let me just do a overall shadow shape. Because it's very easy to get lost in the sauce with this hair rendering. Make it a little darker at the edges. At the end. Ooh, that's fun. I like this a lot. To be honest, I think I'm just going to leave this here for now. And then come back next stream. And just do the basic light here on the chest. I just blew on the mic, I'm sorry. Let's do the collarbone. And then here, there will definitely be light. Cool. Okay. I think I'm going to leave it here, guys. I think I'm gonna leave it here. A pretty good lengthy stream, to be honest. And it was really fun. I honestly really enjoyed this stream. I was a little nervous before starting the stream. I was nervous to stream. But to be honest, I'm really happy that I did. I was really excited to do this stream, to be honest. Also, I was nervous, excited, you know, like that little combination, that little fun combination. But I am really happy with this stream, and I really enjoyed this stream and talking to you guys about my world and stuff like that. Oh, actually, let me save this here. Let me transfer to the larger webcam. But yes, I really enjoyed my time with you guys. I had such a fun time. Sorry, I'm like kind of like talking in autopilot mode right now because I'm just saving all of this, making sure that it doesn't go bye-bye, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, I had such an amazing time with you guys. It was such an awesome stream. I really enjoyed it. Oh gosh, my eyes look a little bit dark underneath. But I had such an amazing time. I really hope that you guys enjoyed the stream as well. And I hope that, this got you a little excited to see the final result of how the style study turns out. I'm really excited to see it. And I'm also just excited to present more of this world to you guys. And I'll catch you in the next stream. And thanks for everyone who was super interactive in the chat. The questions were so amazing, and I am so happy to answer your questions, any questions that you have about my world and just in general as well. It's super awesome talking to you guys, and I will see you all in the next stream or video, whatever comes. Actually, it will be the stream. I'm sorry, I don't know what I was talking about. I was talking about some video coming first, but no. It's most likely it will be a stream. So I'll see you next stream.